morning, students. I am Professor S. Moghanarangan, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Now we are going to discuss about concurrent execution, scheduling and serializability in our database management systems. Transactions are allowed to run concurrently in the system. The purpose and the advantages of the concurrent executions are described here. Increase the processor and disk utilization, which means leading to better transaction throughput. One transaction can be using the CPU while another is reading from or writing to the disk, which means multiple tasks can be carried out. Multitask. So they are described as increased processor and disk utilization because the CPU is having enormous power and the processor is having enormous capacity to handle more number of instructions and transactions. So that capacity have been utilized completely. That is called a throughput. And reduced average response time. So if you are handling the transactions in sequence manner and you are responding for each and every transactions once is completed and you are going to move on to the next one, it may take longer time to response. For example, transaction 1 is getting a few minutes to complete and the transaction 2 is taking large number of times, then the transaction 3 has to wait till the completion of transaction 2. And assume that there are number of transactions are waiting in the queue and you are responding one another one, then it may take long number of time to respond for each and every transactions. Instead, if I am going to execute the transactions in parallel manner, then what will be happen then? So the reduced average and response time will be the advantage. And concurrency control schemes. Mechanisms to achieve isolations, that is to control the interaction among concurrent transactions in order to prevent them from destroying the consistency of the database. Come to the next one, schedule. In our last class, we also discussed about various schedule concepts. Then what is meant to be schedule? A sequence of instructions that specify the chronological order in which instructions of concurrent transactions are executed. The schedule for a set of transactions must consist of all instructions of those transactions. Must preserve the order in which the instructions appear in each individual transaction. A transaction that successfully completes its execution will have the commit instruction as the last statement. A transaction that fails to successfully complete its execution will have an abort instructions as the last statement. So what they are actually saying that once the transaction is completed successfully, you must issue the commit. Until or unless you are using the commit statement, the changes made by the transaction will not be updated properly. So commit is must at the end of the successful completion of a transaction. Then only the changes made by the transaction will be properly updated onto the database. The second one, in alternate case, if the transaction is failed intermediately, then the transaction may have made few changes, okay, but is in inconsistent state. So the changes made by this transaction must be rolled back. Then only the consistency and the persistency of the database will be maintained. So if the transaction failed abdina, then it must be rolled back. The changes which have been made by the transaction must be rolled back to its previous state. And we also discussed in our last class about various schedule. Here, schedule 1 have been listed, which means transaction 1, transaction 2. Each and every transaction are executed separately and in sequence manner or in serial manner. That is called a serial schedule. So transaction 1 completed first, transaction 2 completed next. So they are calling that T2 is followed by T1. And schedule 2. Here they are simply swapping the instruction set. T1 is followed by T2. So T2 is executed first and T1 is executed next. And schedule 3. Here, both the transactions and its instructions are executed in parallel manner, which means part of the transaction 1 is executed first. After the partial completion of the transaction 1, then the transaction 2 and its partial statements have been executed. Once the transaction 2 and its partial completion of the instructions are there, then again the remaining part of the transaction 1 is getting executed. After that, the remaining part of the transaction 2 is also getting executed. Then they are trying to compare the output of schedule 1 and schedule 3. Why they are actually comparing? schedule 1 is executed in serial manner and the schedule 3 is executed in concurrent manner. So in this case, they are trying to observe that there is any different outputs are observed according to schedule 1 and schedule 3. But actually the fact is, after the completion of schedule 1 and schedule 3, the output and the combinations of A plus B are similar. If it is the scenario, then they are declaring that the schedule 3 is equivalent to schedule 1. Even though schedule 3 is executed in concurrent manner, the schedule 1 is executed in serial manner, the output are similar after the completion of all the transactions, not only T1, T2, all the transactions. So according to some measurement, they are identifying that the schedule 3 is equivalent to schedule 1, which means the transaction and the part of their instructions can be executed in concurrent manner. Even though they are executed in concurrent manner, then there is no difference between the serial execution and concurrent execution. So if the serial execution can be converted into concurrent execution, then we have the two different advantages: increased throughput and reduced response time that can be achieved by using the concurrent execution. Come to the point of schedule 4. Here the part of transaction are completed at first, then meanwhile the transaction 2 is also getting executed. Then the part of transaction 2 has been completed, then meanwhile the remaining part of the transaction 1 is getting executed. And after that the remaining part of the transaction 2 is also executed, but without any proper procedure. Here also the concurrent execution of T1 and T2 has been completed. So once the process are completed, again they are trying to find the value of A plus B. Now the value of A plus B may not be equivalent onto the schedule 1. Now this cannot be called as a equivalent one. But however, schedule 3 is equivalent to schedule 1. Schedule 4 is not at all equivalent to schedule 1. Because the way of execution, I mean the concurrent execution, should have some prototype or some protocol. If the protocol is not followed properly, then the schedule cannot be equivalent to serial 1. The concurrent schedule cannot be equivalent to serial schedule. We will discuss further. Here we are having the concept called serializability. What is meant by serializability? Each transaction preserves database consistency. Thus, a serial execution of a set of transactions preserves database consistency. So if I am trying to execute all the transactions in serial manner, then there is no any issues, because there is no any conflict. So there is no any issues. But if I am trying to execute the same transactions in concurrent manner, then I have to focus some of the important points. Which means even the serial execution of transactions are executed in concurrent manner, there is no any issues after the completion of the transactions. Then the output will be similar according to serial. In case of concurrent, then they are classified into two different categories: conflict serializability and view serializability. So students, be clear that these two kinds of classifications are confirmed that the concurrent execution of these transactions are equal to serial execution of the transaction. Then only is called as conflict serializability as well as view serializability. If the output of A plus B is not equivalent to the serial execution, then they cannot become onto the category of conflict as well as view serializability. Those concurrent executions are become as a equivalent to serial execution. That concurrent executions alone can be classified into these two different categories: conflict serializability as well as view serializability. Here actually we have to focus two important concepts, that is called read and write. What is meant by conflicting instructions? Instruction I of j of transaction Ti and Tj respectively conflict if and only if there exists some item q accessed by both I of I and I of j, and at least one of these instructions wrote q. When we are going to focus if both the transactions, there are two different transactions, both two different transactions are going to access the same variable. If both are going to read the value, then there is no conflict. If either of one transaction is going to write operation, is going to do the write operation, then conflict will be there. Even the conflicts are there, but at the completion of each and every instructions, then they are looking similar to serial execution. Then they are called as a conflict serializability. Otherwise, is called as not conflict serializability. What is conflict serializability? If a schedule S can be transformed into a schedule S dash by a series of swap of non-conflicting instructions, we say that S and S dash are conflict equivalent. We say that a schedule S is conflict serializable if it is conflict equivalent to a serial schedule. Clear solram. S is a kind of schedule, S dash is another kind of schedule. S is a sequence execution of all transactions. S dash is a concurrent execution of all transactions. After the completion of S and S dash, the output are similar, then S and S dash are called as conflict equivalent. That's a conflict equivalent. S வந்து 1 by 1 execute பண்ணது, S dashங்கிறது part-ஆ concurrent execute பண்ணது. Transactionல partial complete ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் T2ல partial complete பண்ணது, again T1ல மறுபடியும் partial complete பண்ணது, again T2ல partial complete பண்ணது. But however, the swapping of these instructions are executed in concurrent manner. Anyhow, the final output are very similar for both S and S dash. If it is so, then they are called as conflict equivalent. See here, schedule 3 and schedule 6. Read A, write A, again read A, write A by transaction 2, read B, write B, again read B, write B by transaction 2. Come to the serial execution in schedule 6. Read A, write A, read B, write B. After that, again read A, write A, read B and write B. So the schedule 3 and schedule 6 are called as conflict equivalent. Because if I am executing schedule 3, then the output of the final outcome will be similar to output of the final outcome of the schedule 6. So they are called as conflict serializable. They are called as conflict serializable. So the given example is not conflict serializable because T3 is going to read the value of Q. Assume that right now Q is the value of 100. Just assume Maniko. The value of Q is 100. At the meanwhile, T4 is going to write the value of Q. Assume Maniko. T4 is having some transaction related to Q, is having some modification over the Q. Now the Q is going to be updated. அப்போ கியூவோட வேல்யூ வேறு ஏதாவது சேஞ்ச் ஆகுதுன்னு வச்சுப்போமே, அப்போ இங்கே ரீட் பண்ண வேல்யூ ஒன்றா இருக்கும், இங்கே இதை ரைட் பண்ணதுக்கப்புறம் கியூவோட வேல்யூ மாறி போச்சு. ஆஃப்டர் தட் அகைன் T3 இஸ் கோயிங் டு ரைட் த கியூ விச் ரைட் இஸ் கம்ப்ளீட்டட் அட் லாஸ்ட் அப்படின்னும் போது தட் வில் பி அப்டேட்டட் ஆன் டு தி டேட்டா பேஸ். அப்போ T4 வந்து ரைட் பண்ண கியூ அப்படிங்கிறது ஓவர் ரைட் பண்ணி T3 ரைட் பண்ணிடும். த வேல்யூ ஆஃப் T4 வில் பி லாஸ்ட். அப்போ transaction 4 ஒரு வேல்யூ ரைட் பண்ணிச்சு இல்லையா, that will be lost because T3 is writing at final. So whichever is completed at final, that will be updated. So we cannot swap the instructions of T3 and T4. So we are unable to swap the instructions in the above schedule to obtain either the serial schedule of T3, T4 or T4, T3. So this is called not conflict serializable. What is meant by view serializability? We will assume that there are two schedules, S and S dash, with the same set of transactions. So S and S dash are view equivalent if the following three conditions are met. When the schedules are called as view equivalent abdina, if they are meeting the following three important conditions. For each data item Q, if transaction Ti reads the initial value of Q in schedule S, then transaction Ti must in schedule S dash also read the initial value of Q. In case of Ti, the instruction is reading the value of Q. Even in schedule S dash also reading the value of Q. Okay, is called as view equivalent. Second condition. For each data item Q, if transaction Ti executes read of Q in schedule S and that value was produced by Tj, then the transaction Ti must in schedule S dash also read the value of Q that was produced by Tj. So here you have to consider that one transaction is completed and updated the value of Q. After the updation, now the another transaction is going to read the updated value. Then is called as view equivalent. அதாவது இப்போ ஒரு TJ அப்படிங்கிறது ரைட் பண்ணிடுச்சு, Q உங்களுடைய வேல்யூ மாடிஃபை பண்ணி ரைட் பண்ணிடுச்சு. ரைட் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் now TI is going to read the updated value of Q அப்படின்னும் போது is called as view equivalent. That is no issues. ஏன்னா அது அப்டேட் பண்ணதை அது ரீட் பண்ணுது. And that case, for each data item Q, the transaction that performs the final write operation in schedule S must also perform the final write Q operations in schedule S dash also. Is also called as view equivalent. அப்போ ஒரு transaction என்ன பண்ணுது எனக்கு going to write the value of Q. The S dash is also going to write the same value of Q by issuing the write operation. Both are writing. அப்படின்னும் போது is also called as view equivalent. So once again, I am going to repeat the concept of view serializability. Assume that there are two schedules, S and S dash. So the first schedule is going to read the value of Q. At the same time, the schedule S dash is also going to read the value of Q. அப்படின்னும் போது this is called view equivalent. Second criteria. One of the transaction is going to write, which means modify the value of Q, and the modified value is going to be updated onto the database, which means the write operation. After the write operation, the another schedule is going to read the updated value of the transaction அப்படின்னும் போது is also called as view equivalent. And the third criteria, both transactions are going to write one another. Both are going to update the same variable Q. Is also called as view equivalent. If these three criteria are executed according to the given condition, then the schedule S and S dash are called as view equivalent. So a schedule S is view serializable. It is view equivalent to a serial schedule. Every conflict serializable schedule is also view serializable. Blue is a schedule which is a view serializable but not conflict serializable. Here T3 is going to read and T4 is going to write. Then again T3 is going to write and T6 is also going to write. If this is the scenario, then we can say this is a view serializable but is not a conflict serializable. What serial schedule is above equivalent to every view serializable schedule that is not conflict serializable as blind writes. இதெல்லாம் சின்ன சின்ன criterias. There are two transactions, T1 and T5. Many number of executions are there. But however, there is no any conflict. Read A, some modifications, write A. Read B, some modifications, write B. Again read B, some modifications, write B. And read A, some modifications, write A. So they are determining such equivalences requires analysis of operations other than read and write. How to test the serializability? இதுக்கு ஒரு சின்ன graph concept சொல்றாங்க. Consider some schedule of set of transactions T1, T2 up to Tn. There are n number of transactions. We are applying the concept of precedence graph, a direct graph where the vertices are transactions. We draw an arc from Ti to Tj. If the two transactions conflict and Ti access the data item on which the conflict arose earlier, we may label the arc by the item that was accessed. T1 to T2. T1 is followed by T1, sorry, T2. T2 is followed by T1. And one more example. This is also called as precedence graph. Many number of transactions are there. T1, T2, T3, T4, and T5. T1 is having some set of instructions. T2 is having some set of instructions. Similar cases for T3, T4, and T5. We are having some precedence graph. Whether T1 is followed by T2 or T2 is followed by some other transactions. அப்படியே ஒரு graph மாதிரி போட்டே வரணும். Here they are concluding that whether the transactions are conflict or not conflict. A schedule is conflict serializable if and only if its precedence graph is called as conflict serializable. But எனக்கு cyclic graph வருது அப்படின்னா is not conflict. That's all. So நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கோ. நீ போடுற graph அப்படிங்கிறது cyclic வருதுன்னா is not conflict. But acyclic வருது அப்படின்னா is a conflict serializable. This is the basic concepts. Okay, students. I hope that you may have a good understand over concurrent execution, scheduling, and serializability, which has been discussed so far in the title of database management systems. Hope that again we will meet to discuss about various RAID technologies in our unit 4. Thank you.